Hello, Lion Nation. It might be 105 degrees outside here in the middle of July, but it's always a good time to talk about Prattville Lions football and Prattville Lions sports in general. I'm Will Barrett, joined by our new athletic director, Coach Blake Boren, who comes to us from Montevallo High School. Coach, thanks for being here.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I appreciate you guys having me. I've been here 2 days now, I guess, on the job so far, but it has been a phenomenal 2 days, and I'm excited. Really, I wouldn't say new to the community. I'm excited to be a part of the school for the first time. So, having lived here with my wife now, we're tickled to death and excited to get started with Prattville High School and all the athletic programs here.
Well, you're no stranger to Prattville, like you said earlier. Coaching athletic director at Montevallo High School, several other stops we'll get into in a minute, but you and your family have been here for quite a while.
Yeah, absolutely. We made a decision, I guess 10 years ago or so, that we wanted to be in Prattville, and so during that time we bought a house here, started having children. It would have been very easy to take our children to Birmingham and to go to some of those schools, but we believe really in what Prattville's going on here in this community, and so we love it here. My wife teaches at the primary school. We've got we'll have a kindergartner this fall. We've got a second grader and a fourth grader, and so we very much feel at home here in Prattville and are excited about continuing that and really laying down some roots here, hopefully for the long term now with my appointment at the high school.
A full-time athletic director of the high school, long overdue, and you want your athletic director to have a bit of knowledge about their sports scene in general, and I think we got it here, Coach. I mean, if we're looking at your bio, you've been a head football coach, an AD, a college football coach, head golf coach, head bowling coach, head tennis coach. What have you not coached?
It's over 17 years. Sometimes you go to schools and they say, hey, congrats, we're excited to have you, and oh, by the way. And so I've had a few of those moments in my career for sure, but no, I really do think, and I'm a product of that. A lot of people kind of think, well, you're a football guy, and I am. I've coached football 17 years, but I played golf in college, and that was a big part of my life. And my sister played tennis in college. We believe in the multi-sport athlete. We believe in serving all students, all kids. The student who is a swimmer and who trains their whole life and goes all over doing swimming lessons, when they step into the pool, to compete, that competition is just as important to that individual as it is a Friday night or, a Tuesday afternoon area game in baseball, et cetera. So, absolutely, I think athletics plays a critical role in the development of children, and I think in the broader sense of development of the community. And so we want to facilitate growth among all sports. And absolutely, I think we have some unique experiences, but excited to learn more about all the sports here at Prattville.
We were really excited about the shakeup that's happening at Prattville High School as far as new coaches coming into the fold, you as the AD coming into the fold. It's a great time at Prattville High School to really get involved with the programs happening. Now you've been in independent school systems like Mountain Brook, you've been at Pike Road, you've been at Montevallo, you've been a county school system like that. You've seen both ends of the spectrum. What do you see here in Prattville that you want to, I guess, attack first?
I think the big thing is cohesiveness as an athletic department. I think in today's climate, we want to brand the athletic department. I think, the number one thing that kids want to see when they play on a Friday night or when they play a basketball game on Saturday is they want to go and look at pictures and they want to see video and they want to see, their peers and their friends. And so I think, visibility in today's market is critically important. I think we're entering in a world probably in high school athletics with NIL and with some restrictions lifted off of where you can go. And so I think those who succeed athletically will spearhead that movement with how do they facilitate growth within their student athletes and how do they market them and what's their availability. And so clearly I think probably a big thing right now is just attacking with visibility, brand, continuing to increase our presence on social media and kind of give it back to the kids. Ultimately our goal is that, and it's two-pronged here. One, we obviously want them to graduate. We want them to leave Prattville with a diploma and move on into the next phase of their life. We want them to be productive citizens. Obviously, that's the goal of any school system, is to help facilitate that growth. But also, I think back on my experience in high school, and like for me, I don't necessarily remember what happened in the science class or the anatomy class, but what I do remember are the bus rides, to and from away games. I remember going and meeting with all of our friends after a big victory on a Tuesday night in basketball or whatever it was. Those are what you want. You want impactful memories that students can make as a part of your program. And so we're going to attack that. And our hope is that when they leave us, they'll have their diploma, obviously, but also they'll have some memories that they can carry with them, that when they look back on their time at Prattville High School, it was productive, it was fun, it was a critical moment in their future and their growth.
Now you are you've been indoctrinated into the high school and college sports world since you were, I guess, from birth, with your dad being a somewhat of a legendary high school football coach in his own right, and as the head coach at Faulkner. Talk about the influence that he's had on your life.
He's everything to me, and he has. He's been very successful. I think he won 100 games in high school football. He's the winningest coach in the history of Faulkner University football now, in only 4 years to do it, really. He is, everybody has icons, but for me, why I got an education, I love working with kids, and I think I can be impactful for kids. I think we can help kids, and obviously that's a huge element, of anybody who's in education. But when I think about it from my standpoint, like my first recollection was getting in my dad's truck as a 4 and 5 year old kid, and like we were going into Western Birmingham when he was at Midfield High School. We were going into Western Jefferson County, or all over, and we were picking kids up. We were taking them to summer school. We were bringing them to the facility to practice. Sometimes we'd have kids come and stay with us, and that impacted me, and it shaped me into who I think I am today, and wanting to give back to kids and be a part of kids and help them. And but yeah, I mean that was him in a nutshell. That's what we did. And so, it's deeper than wins or losses or records. It's how do you impact, and I saw firsthand, and my mom as well. My mom's in education. In fact, she works in Autauga County too. But just the impact an educator can have on a kid, I think is tremendous.
Sure.
I think it's the most important thing we can do in our lives is how do we help others. And so we 100% want to spearhead that. My dad did that tremendously with a great career, and my hope is that one day I can be half of what he was.
Well, you mentioned just then wanting to help others and leaving a place better than what you found it. And I did a little bit of a deep dive on you before we came over here, and I found some rather disturbing information about you from your friend at the Shelby County Reporter, Andrew Simonson, who said, and I quote, he left Montevallo better than where he found it. I mean, how does that happen?
Well, first off, Andrew's great.
And I kid about disturbing. That's awesome.
I got to know Andrew. He was young, right out of college. I think his first game he ever really covered in a full-time capacity was my first game at Montevallo, so we went through it together. But no, he was great, and I appreciate what he said in the article. I think that's obviously the goal of any place you go is how can you make an impact? And so clearly, when we got to Montevallo, there was a great foundation and a great shell at Montevallo High School. And again, this goes back to my dad, because my dad was the head coach and athletic director there from 1998 to 2003. And then after he left, probably the second most influential person in my life is a man named Jim King, who was a head coach there from 2003 to 2008. Both of them came back to work with me. And so when we got there, the three of us, the foundation was great. They built those buildings. We knew what it was, but it hadn't really been touched. And so, yeah, absolutely. By the time we left, we were able to touch every facility in that athletic department that was owned by the county school system. Kind of like Prattville, they shared some facilities with the city of Montevallo. Some of the way you fund that is sometimes unique. But yeah, we were able to work with our county and city leaders to redo gym floors. We really did a pretty extensive renovation of the weight room. Went through flooring of the weight room. We were able to get sprinkler systems, things you maybe don't necessarily see but are critical to the infrastructure.
Of course.
Do you want grass? Which you do. And so to kind of rework all of that on practice fields and game fields, I think it was really cool to see roughly about $250,000, which is tremendous at a place like Montevallo. Sure. Where the revenue is clearly different than the schools of this capacity, but it was good, and I'm very appreciative of my time there. Can't say enough about the administration in Shelby County and the school administration locally, but it was a tremendous experience. But yeah, facilities are a big piece of that. We have some work to do here at Prattville, and we're excited about some of the things that are going to take place. But hopefully, some of you all in the media will say some of the same things, if we ever do leave here.
Well, Coach, I hope that's about 20 or 30 years from now. We are very excited about what you bring to the table here at Prattville High School. You being a resident of here for a very long time, you know exactly what it means to have the community engaged and rallying around a program. Programs like Prattville High School football and any Prattville High School baseball, athletics, girls basketball, boys basketball, whatever it is, it only works if the community is engaged. And I know that one of your big stump points is that you've got to engage the community.
Absolutely. Again, where are we going? So obviously, let's talk about where we've been. I think you nailed it 100%. Prior to me ever being coming to Prattville, I was a Pelham resident, graduated from Pelham High School, and I think I shared this earlier before we got on the air. My first real introduction to Prattville was going down to Patterson Field in 2004 and playing in the state baseball championship, and literally we got there at 1 o'clock. And it was just awesome. I guess Prattville must have let schools out, and there were kids rocking the buses, and they were tailgating, and this is 2004. These are high school kids, and it looked like a college football Saturday in Auburn, when you're getting ready to go through that. And so it just blew me away. And then I saw the same thing, in 2009. I was first-year receiver coach at Hoover High School. We played Prattville and Bryant-Denny, and gosh, it had to have been the whole town. I mean, how often in a state championship game is the entire lower bowl full?
Right.
And they were there, and it was chaotic, and it was awesome to see. And so clearly, when you talk about Prattville, like the history and the tradition and all the things that have happened here are second to none in this state. And I think Prattville can be there again, and we're going to work every day to get back to that. I said this, in an earlier interview, like, our kids should be excited about where we're going. Like, obviously moving into the Birmingham market, I think, is outstanding. Like, we're going to have the opportunity to go play Hoover in a women's basketball game, or to go play Thompson in a football game, or, to go and do all that. The wrestling program at Thompson is incredible. And so we're going to see the best of the best every single day, our students are. And so I think at their core, they're competitors. And so I think that gets them excited. I know I can feel that in 2 days of walking around. But absolutely, what do some of those programs have? They have engagement from the community. I mean, I can remember sitting in some of those meetings with booster clubs. Some of the numbers that were being thrown around were astronomical. And again, where is the current modern day athlete? What does that look like? And I think it looks a lot like what you see in college. And we're also entering a time with, we're going to have NIL at some point. And I think that's a reality that we have to face head on. And you've got open market potentially, in school choice. And so community engagement, ensuring that we work strategically with our community leaders and our business partners here, I think is critically important. And obviously it's for a great cause. Like, what do we want to do at the end of the day? We want to impact kids. And if you're a local business leader, you have the opportunity to impact a kid. And if you're just a community member at large, like, when you get involved in the local school system, you're impacting tomorrow's generation and the youth and the furtherment of everybody here. So it's critically important, and we're going to roll out some really great initiatives, I hope, in time within that, and trying to get people, involved. And I think they do a great job here already. By no means is this saying that we're not doing that, but I do think we can grow and continue to improve that as we break in, the new stadium here in a year or so. I think there's going to be a lot of excitement about that, and it's just a great time to be involved with Prattville High School athletics. And I know that we're going to work every day to put them back in the position where they've been and where we think they will continue to be.
There's no doubt about it, Coach. And with you spearheading the program now, it's we're really excited to have this going in the direction that we all know it should be. So we just want to welcome you again to the Lion Nation and everything going on here. We're excited about where you're going to take us. And for all you guys listening out there, all you guys watching in, you got to know the Lion Nation is on the upswing. And with Coach Boren at the helm of the athletic department, it's only going to get better. So, Coach Boren, again, welcome. Look forward to what you're going to do.
Well, again, and I appreciate it. And like I said, we are excited. Like, when this thing happened, I mean, we were just floored with the opportunity. I mean, Prattville is a great place. Like, come back to one thing. Like, what is it about? It's about Prattville. And this community is special. I've seen that firsthand being here 10 years now. We chose to put our kids in school here. My wife works here. And every day I would drive. I would wake up every morning. I'd drive 55 minutes to Birmingham, or I'd drive 50 minutes the other way, or whatever. The reality is there's something unique that's here. And there's something special about being here. And I've seen it now. And I just can't wait to continue to get started in this journey. Now working here and being a part of the school system. And so we are pumped, and we are just as excited from our standpoint to be involved here with Prattville High School and the broader community at large.
We can feel that for sure. Well, Coach, we'll check in with you in about 6 months again and see how the progress is going.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it.
For Coach Boren, I'm Will Barrett, and as always, we'll see you soon. Good night. God bless. Go Lions.